welcome to another edition of Creative Current. I'm your host, Shana Nees-Dambrot, and we are here in the studio today with local painter, muralist, curator, impresario, Renee Fox.
I'd been looking at these wonderful images ever since the other large mural where I had the viscera, so I had all this great reference. And I found this one online of these snake eggs. It was a snake that had been, a pregnant snake that had been eviscerated, and they were these eggs in a sack. And it was just, to me, gorgeous. I mean, when I was 11, my mother was studying to be a nurse, so she took me with her to the medical museum, and I watched an autopsy. So I'm really into, I think all that stuff's really beautiful. So I thought, okay, I definitely want to use this, and I was looking at the orchids because they are one of the most confrontational flowers.
They really are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I found this one, and she's just, aborting the snake eggs out of the middle, and there's sacks just sitting on the sides, and I called it Birthing Right.
The next thing you know, you're opening the Eagle Rock Rocket Eagle shop.
Ed told me this idea, told me the story, and I just became obsessed with it. I just could see the packaging. I could see the logo very clearly, which I now have tattooed on my hip. The Eagle Rock Rocket Eagle shop, and that it would sell eagles and rock things, And I just started picking them up at thrift stores here and there. Didn't really have a plan. But then I delved into the internet and became lost in that vortex of what people sell online, dealing with eagles and rocks.
The part of town that you live in was having a giant construction nightmare. Their happy little sleepy side streets. 3 years of that. And most people would just freak out. But Bettina Hubby's like, someone needs to make art out of this. Okay, I still have all my envelope galleries.
Okay.
Like a gallery that would have periodic group shows, except it only existed in Staples envelopes that got mailed to you.
Right.
And it would be small multiples and tiny objects and bits of writing on a curated theme.
Right.
And
with several artists doing individual pieces inside this envelope.
And I just thought it was the most brilliant thing I've ever seen in my life. I always wish I thought of it because it's that genius.
I would usually center the gallery show around a theme, and then invite artists to do multiples. And the idea for that was because I didn't have a gallery at the time, and I didn't want to wait. And so I wanted to show my work, and my friends wanted to show their work. And I thought, why not do a gallery inside an envelope?
You're mailing invitations anyway.
Right, and also to give you something to do at the art opening, to have an interaction with someone. Because I wanted to talk about art. I was tired of going to art openings and not talking about what we all do. It was almost like that was the last thing people were embarrassed to talk about making art. And so this was a way of some sort of exchange and sort of kind of breaking the ice.
And I'm a huge fan of the way that you exist on Facebook. You're using Facebook in the way that if we live in a good and just world, it was intended.
Right.
It's back to this idea of the life of the artist in the studio.
Right.
What is it like to be an artist alone in the studio?
I have the pleasure of sitting here in our studios with one of the great actors in this film. He plays a character named Bald. And I welcome from Scotland across the waters, Mingus Johnston. Mingus, good to see you.
Lovely to be here.
Man, here's you and some of the other characters.
This is right on the edge of a famous gorge in the west of England called Cheddar. Cheddar Gorge.
And did you actually go there to film?
Yeah, so it's a huge cliff.
It's
this
gorgeous.
Is unseen, like a sheer drop.
Looks like you're in a studio.
We're not in a studio. We're actually we're in the woods, and Brian's telling us about what he wants to do, what he wants us to do.
Thomas Pynchon to Luis Rodriguez. Thomas Pynchon to Luis Rodriguez. Thomas Pynchon to Luis Rodriguez, and now George to Ruben Martinez. Wanda Coleman, Exene Cervenka. Check out the LA Sound
He has empires in his blood. He has feelings like a flood. There were some who called your name. There were some who called your name. Can you see through me? We burn candles in the dark when there's fear through me. Running circles round the park. I know a girl who says she's strong. Been a woman for so long. Oh.